I was on mute. I didn't really say anything, quite honestly. My bad. Um, that was Merle. He left. Didn't expect him to stay. Once I start talking, they don't like to sit still. And then I was gonna roll an ad because I figured why not get it out of the way now. So I'm gonna do it. Okay, so I was gonna do another zodiac run like I did last week or earlier this week, whenever that was. But it is late, so I'm gonna do a little taste. I pulled out the Cosmic Deck of Initiation, um, and I'm just gonna do a few of those just to say goodnight, just as a little nightcap, if you will. And then if I'm streaming today or the next time I stream, I'll do a full zodiac reading. I want to start making that kind of a regular thing because I kind of liked the way it lined up. I like the way it worked out, so I'm gonna track that. But yeah, this is just gonna be a quick little thing. No biggie. So they was telling me to really finish off with that initiation, especially after the conversation we had earlier this evening. It was quite interesting. It was really comprehensive. I feel like it didn't give insight to life, but more to existence, and that was fulfilling in a different way. Where we usually seek tarot for answers in our regular daily life, but this was a bit different. It was a bit different. I liked it a lot. Okay, so words of wisdom, universal balance. So you may put the efforts in, but if you overextend, of course, you will not be received or met with the same efforts, but rather the balance is 80-20. The balance is 30-70, you know, and the universal balance, of course, would be 50-50. Although the universal balance would probably not use numbers, but equivalency. So remember, give less to those who fail to give in return. And know that tipping a scale will never make it even, but weighing your options will. Love that. Man, those aliens could probably talk all night if they were allowed to. Okay. Laughter at the bottom of the deck, but of course, laughter is the medicine of life, the bringer of joy, the carrier of music, the sound of love. Laughter. Remember that even when you take things seriously, it's good to have your own comic relief. No matter how gritty or gruesome things get, it's good to remember humor in the last seconds. Okay. I have a face down pile here, but really I'm just going to go through them regularly because no other cards came out, so I know this is our message. Foundation. It's all about the foundation. It's about where did you build it? Where does it stand? How long has it been there? What was it? What was the element that came together? What's it built on? Where did it start? Where did it begin? And if it's already begun, where is it going? What can it hold? What is the intended structure? Having the proper foundation is the only way to have anything above ground, anything not relevant but functional, you know. The foundation is important. Law of transmutation, isn't this about, you know, if it's the law of transmutation, it's that all things are transferable and nothing is destructible. Transmutation, the transfer of energy, right? Being able to interpret and share that energy. It goes back to the same frequency conversation we were having earlier about love being able to be transmitted, but also being susceptible to outside influence. And so the law of transmutation would suggest, in place with the universal balance and foundation, that at the core of every transaction, there must be an intention. And in order for your good intentions to be heard, they must have an opposing force to create a balance. Gemini. Literally, the next card is Gemini. That literally nails it. That's exactly anything that you would cliche twin, Gemini, two-faced, whatever you call it. I like Gemini, so I don't understand the rep. Or perhaps I understand the rep better than those who complain about it. Duality, in essence. Working with the enemy, so to speak. Or realizing that the enemy is doing the job of, hate, if only to get you to hear your own songs of love. Initiation, stepping into what you're meant to. This is what this deck is all about. It's like everything has been coming full circle, but not everything is played out. A lot of tower moments going on, really a weird time just to be alive, let alone to be going through something, but a lot of things are changing. There's this subtle hint that things might be changing and that there's things on the horizon, and yet nothing seems to be happening, and you can feel the frustration in the days that pass. You can tell by the way that people scream and act, and you can see the resilience to moving forward or embracing the change that is to come. But it's there. And the moment that you can say, well, it's apparent that I've lost control of the situation, now I must surrender to it, the sooner it'll get on. Universal freedom. I always think about Marley. Free yourself from mental slavery. I don't know if that's the right tune. That one looked really cool in this lighting, though, didn't it? Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Think about New Mexico. Not for alien purposes, but just a memory I have of someone's really lovely home. Been thinking about them a lot. It makes me wonder if we had some kind of talk about aliens while I was there. It was very brief. Someone I met once through a friend. I think I brought it up on a stream before. It'd be crazy if they passed over this video and they were like, I wonder if that's the same girl. It is, for sure, if your house is blue inside. And the walls are tall. This would have been years ago, almost 10 years ago. I don't know. think that was a good message. I might just leave it at that, just like a quick run. Like I said, I just pop back on to say goodnight, really send you off with something wonderful. So we have a few more. Cancer. It's top of the deck. Free spirit. Free spirit. You know, doing things in accordance with who you are, not what you're supposed to be doing or who you're expected to be. Cancer season has passed, but that's some warm, loving, nurturing energy, but also sort of manipulative way about it. But that's the thing. The things you do to influence a situation are the things that influence you in the end. And that's essentially the sower of seeds, is to understand that what you put out is what you put in. And what you put in is what you get. And what you get reflects on the work, the ethic, right? And universal forgiveness. You have to understand you're not going to do every job perfectly the first time around. You're not going to get every recipe right. You're not going to get every spell correctly. It's not all going to go your way initially. It's not all going to be perfect every single time you do something. For certain, it can't be. That's part of the balance. It's the opposition. Just know that guardian angel is watching, is on standby. Pure energy, nothing but love and protection and light. Not that there's anything wrong with the darkness. Wow, you're back? Holy shit. Thank you. How cool. You can dance. I'm deeply contemplating that question. I'm wondering what it's in regards to, in a sense. It's also funny that I made reference to progress on my Instagram story today, but I do not believe that I know you. I think all the Sagittariuses I know can spell Sagittarius. I don't even mean that in a rude way. I mean that in a way that they know their zodiac shit. What is right is not always progressive, and what is progressive is not always wrong. That's like they like to speak in music, right? So what must come to mind when you ask about progress, and I say that what is right is not progress, what's progress is not wrong. As I think of evil will prevail, and a million people, how does it go? A million people seems like a lot, and a million people can be wrong. Universal balance. Laughter, see? I was laughing when I said that. The balance is resilience. So if there are people who oppose, regardless of perception, if there's opposing forces, whether it's nature, whether it's opposite agenda, or an opponent, there's sure to be progress if there is opposition of any kind. And that's why I think some religious zealots will get on about natural disasters being like coming of Christ, end of the world. It's not out of line with nature to think that way. And if you were to base it in spirituality or even science, you see that there is a universal balance. And sometimes absolute chaos is progress, in the same way that there's a consistent progress in the sense that you don't see a leaf grow, but you see leaves, and you see them in their full form. And we have slow motion cameras so we can determine progress, and that would be our perception, is to be able to watch a leaf grow. But the leaf is growing regardless if we capture it. That would be the best I could do. I thought opponent was an interesting word too, because I don't really like to use such offensive as in the offense, right? Like offensive, defense. Opponent seems too aggressive. I'm a really non-competitive person. Yeah, it's not much of a bubble and it's not very organized, is it? You may see more organized formations and patterns in nature itself than you do within a human colonization or society, where we have law and order, but we also have crime and punishment, because law and order doesn't really work. And then you see something like the migration of birds, and they are all on a scheduled rhythm, and they all agree, and they all have one path, and they all work together, and they make it happen. Same with packs of wolves or hyenas. Dolphins, a good example. But right, there's a sense of control amongst many species, I think. Except for if you see something like a Bengal tiger is so fascinating. Tigers in general, I think, are all a lot alike in the sense of how they live. But I just happen to know a little bit more about Bengal tigers because of a biology class I took in 2017. They live independently, and 52 people in Bangladesh are killed by Bengal tigers a year. So it's like once a week. And it's mostly because they go in to these forests where the tigers live, and they are gathering resources for their towns and their people. And so they don't really have a choice but to go in. And it's basically the cost of collecting, hunting, and gathering, right? It's not even the hunt, it's the gather and to be hunted instead. So Bengal tigers, it's interesting where it's like, in a sense, they are charging a commodity where I'm sure they could live off the wild animals and not even deal with people with guns and weapons who come in packs, but knowing that they're taking something from the forest means that the tiger must take something in exchange for it. Such a way to see it. That's not necessarily a personal feeling as much as it felt like an applicable antidote that came to mind. Not antidote. Anecdote is antidote is when you take something that cures something. An anecdote is a story that teaches a lesson, right? Got that right? Nothing is as chaotic as it seems. I am more chaotic than I seem, though, because I am so often calm. But in essence, a lie, because the chaos is inside. And I think that's another funny thing is the more turmoil you have for yourself in your personal life, the more you'll see the same repetition in nature and the world around you. It all depends on where you're looking and how you're looking at it. And while that's not necessarily a universal truth, it is right here. Universal truth. The whole world's inside our minds alone. Very true. There are some things that we there's such a disagreement on anything that we've come to agree on. It's so ironic because in like the basic principles of what makes a human is the most crucial thing to agree on and one of the most debated arguments. And it's because of all the ideologies that have sprung up over time and division. You know, it's not just about looking different. It's really a whole perspective. It's not like anything else. I don't know. There's like these weird thoughts coming in and out where I feel like I'm thinking about something, but then it's like, wait, am I repeating something? And then I get a little distracted with what I'm saying because I'm like, what am I saying? And I can't tell if it's like a tired part in the night or if I should just give in to channeling again. I say you want a revolution, well, no. We all want to change the world. Evolution is here. What's VI? VI? Yeah. But then again, I don't know that anybody even wants the world to be black and white. I think most people want it to be in color, and I think the problem is that it's a little more black and white than we think it is, where ultimately you can choose to live or you can choose to die. And there is something noble in each cause. And all the little indiscrepancy is what adds color to our world, which is wonderful. It's like the flowers of life. But I think at the base of things, most issues in nature are black and white. Maybe. Seems silly to think of things so arbitrarily. Sometimes we make decisions harder than they need to be because we're thinking too much about long term. Sometimes it's not to act impulsively, but to see that the short term effects may be as important as the bigger picture. Evolution, baby. It's all about the progress. It's funny that you brought this up. What is making progress? Agreeing to do something and then ultimately not doing it. Because in the long run, you know, maybe if you're not ready, that you'll do it better next time. But the whole point is that there may not be a next time because that is essentially what's black and white. Is that you have a 50% chance in every single moment to live or die outside of your own doing, being, or dwelling. And then within those 50%, you change your variables and your percentages based on how you live your life. Yeah, I could see that. You're like, did she just agree with me or no? I love that I use she pronouns for myself all the time when I am talking for other people talking about me because I know that everyone just assumes because that's what they want me to be. Maybe. I think I stick with what I said and say some things are black and white, but we like to add color. You know, making a hard decision with bad effects short term is to see a black and white issue and say, I want to add purple. I'll deal with a little bit of blue as long as I can have red, and I end up with purple because nothing is black and white. But really, we think on impulses, and everything is essentially a yes or no question. And then you're back to black and white. I'm just teasing you. I don't really like to play devil's advocate, but I do like to prove points. And I think that if I disagree with someone, it's more genuine than just trying to challenge you to a mental duel, as much as I don't mind hearing you out, but so far, not convinced. I do still have some cards on the table too. It's law of cause and effect, law of free will, universal spirituality, evolution, and universal truth. 2 laws, 2 universal rules, and evolution, the human experience. I mean, the very nature of experience is to evolve. And I wonder, and maybe couldn't even imagine if plants had not evolved into blooming flowers, or if food didn't grow from trees, or if dinosaurs had never left. Right? Evolution is so beautiful, and it's so funny. This it seems like the evolution of man has man desiring to not just play God, but to see himself as such, in the sense that they want to control extinction or change the course of the natural state of the earth, or influence things beyond repair, but God would simply never do that, because God sat back and let humans become it. And so it's you can't even say it's playing God. It's kind of the opposite. It's a very human trait to want to control things, for sure. And that's why the state of things are always such a mess. Green for go, red for stop, yellow for slow down, orange for accident, green for caution or hazard. Oh, go also. Something about colors. And say goodnight and go. Yeah, it's probably the end of the night. I think it's more sleepy than channeled. They do like to speak in music, but there's something about these 5 cards. They're positioned as if the Olympic rings is something I'm noticing. I don't know how many Olympic rings there are. I feel like maybe it's 5. Maybe it's 7. Maybe I'll leave this out and we'll go over it tomorrow. Because if I'm seeing an Emojin heap, it's time to call it for the evening. But I want to dissect these cards, but something about the colors. So what colors? We came up with green, yellow, red, orange, which is funny because those are all the colors I wore today. So I'm going to meditate on that. I will make notes on my board. I'm going to come back and we're going to discuss these 5 chain reacted events unfolding in the course of humanity as we live it now, as well as the colors and energies represented in this transition from summer to fall. Green and yellow, summer, orange and red, fall, transitioning into it. Moving through the emotions, like seasons, understanding that each transition brings new feelings. So that sounds like it's going to be a really good discussion. It truly does. Yeah, I love this. This is gonna be a good week. I took a few days off last week. This week it was slow, but I feel like the upcoming days and the upcoming streams are gonna get really in depth and detail. I don't like to get hung up on the love readings and stuff. I'm a scientist. I'm much more interested in, universal truth and cause and effect. So, more my brand, if you will. Sorry about your twin flame unions, y'all. We're over it. Yeah. So, maybe I'll be back later today, maybe tomorrow. Whenever it is, I usually don't say in advance. But either way, yeah, of course. Sorry for being kind of sleepy and very dreamy. I feel like I'm in a very dreamlike state because maybe usually I would be sleeping, but so often I'm awake and I haven't been writing the poetry quite the same. But I'm trying to get back into the romance of things. Oh, okay. Thank you, Spicy. Didn't even realize you were here. Love a lurker. It's like big stalker energy around me, and I don't know if I'm the stalker or if I'm being stalked. I'm the stalky. I don't know how that works. Not accusing you of it. However, if I just was thinking about it earlier and didn't bring it up until you followed me, maybe you are also dealing with that type of energy around you. So if you had suspicions, that would unfortunately be confirmation that you might have a little bit of stocky situation on your hands. But relax. Usually it means that you gotta switch things up or you're stuck a little too much in routine and it becomes a rut. Shake things up and shake them off. It's my best advice. Accept gifts. Do not accept offers. Right? If they bring you something physical, fine. If they offer you something that's not in front of you, absolutely not. Boundaries, but also safety, courtesy, respect, and love, oddly enough. So that's what people need the most. So, watch the replays. I will catch y'all later. I really love you so much. Thank you for letting me do this in my life. You know what I mean? It's been very fun and cool. Hopefully, we'll be doing it again soon. I'm going to roll out with an ad because that's just how it works. You know what I mean? But thank you for tuning in. Good night. Good luck with absolutely everything. I love you. I love you. I love you. And thank you for continuing to be here in this world. And in this lane, and sharing this vibe with me, allowing me to be the freak I need to be, channeling aliens and shit, giving people advice even though they don't know who the fuck I am. You know what I mean? It's nice in a weird way because it's like, wow, when you put it like that, what are you talking about? You're absolutely correct. Who the fuck are you? Doesn't matter. You came to me. That's how you know it's real. But the algorithm, you're here for a reason. All right. Love you. See you soon. I hope if I don't always scare people away every time I fucking talk. Yeah. More alien stuff to come. Mwah. Good nights. Good luck. You know the stuff.